All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's press conference. We will start off with offensive lineman Nikki Prangos. We will take questions using the raise hand function in Zoom. A reminder that after this, we will have Scotty Edwards to wrap up our player section of the day. So we will take questions as hands are raised. Troy, you're up first.
Nikki, good to see you. Just take us through how things have gone. The bye week and now game week once again, trying to get back in the lab and clean up some things from the season opener. What sort of things have that process entailed?
Yeah, the bye week is, a great opportunity to get better, and so like in the O-line, the focus has been like using the week, to get better, get a better at our technique, our footwork, to get better at football, and so that was really good to have is, a week one bye week, right? Something that doesn't always happen. And then now, we're off to, BYU game plan, so we're rolling.
Thank you, Troy. John,
Scotty, tell us about BYU, what you see of the 2025 Cougars.
I think he's talking to you.
Oh, yeah,
You're
yeah.
good.
No, yeah. Obviously, they had a great year last year. So, as an offense, we look at their defense and, we respect them. It's at their place. Should be exciting. Should be a good crowd. We're happy to play there. We're, as a lineman, we really just gotta do our job. We gotta run the ball and protect the quarterback, right? So two things that as O-line our focus is at. So if we believe that we do those two things, then we'll put the offense in a good we'll lead the offense, hopefully the victory.
Thank you, John. Ben?
Yeah, I just kind of want to get your thoughts on the quarterbacks. Ben Branson. Just kind of curious what you saw from him during fall camp that, kind of helped him kind of earn the starting job and just talk about kind of the relationship you guys have with him as an offensive line unit.
Yeah, yeah. During fall camp, just O-line always bonding with the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks and O-line are always, we gotta work together. They trust us. We trust them. So, Go Branson. He was a good leader. Like he really led us during the camp. So yeah.
Thank you, Troy.
Yeah, Nikki, what's this I hear and see about you and Brock Purdy hanging out, doing a little line dancing, or
Yeah,
linemen
yeah.
dancing, I guess you could call it. Take us through that, how that came about, and how much fun I'm sure that was.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was a lot of fun. So over the summer, there was an opportunity, to participate in the area shoot with Brock Purdy, and I guess they needed some linemen, and there was a connection at Stanford, so they asked some of us to come out there, and no, yeah, it was cool. We got to spend the day with Brock Purdy and Jake Brendel, and dance around, wear the area gear. It was cool, awesome. As a 49ers fan, growing up too from the Bay was pretty special.
Thank you, Troy. John?
Nikki, and I got the name right this time. Forgive me for not looking at my screen and getting the order of the two guests mixed up.
No, you're good.
Tell me, tell me about the Lithuanian national baseball team. Like, what position did you play, and how did that come about?
Yeah, yeah, that's just, kind of a side quest in my life. But in high school, I got the opportunity to study there briefly in Lithuania. I have ties to Lithuania, my family being from there. And then I made a connect. I played baseball, all growing up, and made a connection there. I was able to play with them that summer in various European tournaments, and yeah, I played outfield and first base. Those are my positions.
Thank you, John. Ben?
Yeah, I just kind of want to get your thoughts on kind of your journey to Stanford. Obviously, you were at UCLA before. Just kind of what drew you to Stanford and what have you most enjoyed about being at Stanford after coming from UCLA.
Yeah. So, I think Stanford has so much to offer, and that's what really drew me there, once I was in the portal. Plus, it's a bonus to being a Bay Area kid, and rooting for, Stanford growing up. Um, here I feel I really fit in with like the whole student athlete, persona experience. You have world-class athletes, that who are in the Olympics, who are, elite athletes, and you also have the same people who are like, taking these graduate engineering classes or whatnot, who are, big time nerds or also, very devoted to the academics. So I thought I fit perfectly in that, and that's what drew me here.
Thank you, Ben. Troy?
Yeah, Nikki, going back to the Hawaii game, passing game struggles aside, the running game, especially production from the running backs, which is something that, quite honestly, we hadn't seen around these parts over the last couple of years or so. 20 play drive along the way. What sort of things, how would you sum up the day for the running game and the offensive line's role against Hawaii, and what sort of things could get better still?
Yeah, I thought it was, O-line did a good job running, O-line running backs did a good job running the ball. That's something in camp that, the O-line, we wanted to set the standard. Like we will run the ball, we will, be able to impose our will. So, going forward, we want to keep that. We want to run for more yards. We want to be more physical up front. Because having a run game is obviously very, important key to victory every week.
Thank you, Troy. John?
Nikki, those of us who follow college football, we sort of blithely, one player goes from one school to another, and it seems like it's seamless, but I'm sure from a human standpoint, it's not always the easiest thing. Coming to Stanford, who helped you acclimate when you got here? Was it a fellow O lineman? Was it a coaching staff? Was it someone on Andrew's staff? I mean, talk about the acclimation process and who really helped you get up to speed quickly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It can always be tough, going to a new place, starting in a, new. It's everything's new, so got to meet new people, make new connections. But no, I definitely, bonded with, the O-line guys. I say early on, I think, Sam Roush and Fisher Anderson, they definitely took me under the wing. Uh, they've been great friends of mine. Other guys too on the O-line, Charlie Simons. Uh, just guys, bonding, here it's really nice. You really feel the closeness in the O-line room. So, like, we're always hanging out, doing stuff, going to eat places. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to go to a new spot, but it's been really easy over here.
Thank you, Ben.
Uh, Talked to Frank Reich yesterday. He kind of made it sound like BYU might be looking to drop some kind of intense blitz packages on early and first, second down situations. Just talk about what you guys are doing as an offensive line to prep for that. Yeah, go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Down
oh,
situations.
yeah, so protection is key, we got to keep the quarterback upright, got to give him time to make plays. We're just going with what our coaches are, game planning us. We have our game plan and, we're gonna, we got to communicate on the line of scrimmage and just be ready to make our calls and go from there, win our one-on-one, each win our one-on-one, and we should be in a good spot.
Thank you, Ben. Any other questions for Nikki? All right, thank you so much. We'll be right back in a moment with Scotty Edwards.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Welcome back. We are here with Scotty Edwards, and we will take the first question from Jackson with the Deseret News.
Hey, Scotty. obviously growing up in Utah, it's been said you were a BYU fan. What are your emotions playing in Provo this week? And do you have any memories growing up around BYU? And just tell me about that and making the trip home.
Yeah, first and foremost, I'm super excited to go and to be able to play in Provo. I grew up going to a lot of games. I spent a lot of time in Provo going to games, going to camps. And so it's going to be pretty surreal just being there, being able to play in front of friends and family. Like I said, I've been to a whole bunch of games, rushed the field multiple times. And so it's going to be surreal to be out there playing.
Thank you so much, Jackson. Ben?
Yeah, you guys are gonna be facing a couple of familiar names actually in Bear Bachmeyer and Tiger, especially Tiger because you guys played with him for 3 seasons. Just kind of thoughts on facing against both those guys and kind of what's that going to be like, and does it help at all that you guys might know their tendencies and what they like to do, or maybe not necessarily?
Yeah, it's a pretty unique opportunity to go and to play them, two guys that obviously we know quite well and think they're both great players and excited for them and their opportunities. But I think our team, we're going to be ready to go. We're treating this just like any other week, nameless and faceless. And so we're going to be ready to go with our calls, with our communication. And so we're excited for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Ben. John?
Scotty, you mentioned that you've been to BYU games growing up, and you have a feel, I think, for that stadium, Lavelle Edwards Stadium. How would you characterize it? Obviously, your first opportunity to at least play there as a Stanford player. What do you anticipate the environment being, and how you'll deal with it?
Yeah, I know it's gonna be loud. There's gonna be a lot of people. I know this is the first week with school back. I know that because my brother goes there and my mom teaches there as well. So like I have a lot of family ties, and so I get pretty tapped in with BYU. And so I know there's gonna be a lot of people there. It's gonna be loud. And so that's gonna be an exciting environment to play in, and I can't wait.
Thank you. Troy?
Yes, Scotty, you weren't able to be a part of the festivities in Hawaii last week, but how do you think the defense overall graded out against the Rainbow Warriors? Points for improvement and things that really encouraged you.
Yeah, honestly, I think our defense did a good job. I mean, that's an explosive offense that tries to score a lot of points and really throw the ball downhill. And so I thought our DBs did a great job at covering, held them to less than 200 yards passing, which I think is a big deal, especially from an offense of that caliber. And so that was super exciting for us. Obviously, there's moments in the game that we'd like back, critical moments. And so this week, our focus and intention is on being cleaner, really working on our fundamentals, communicating, and I think we're going to be ready to go. And so last week, yes, although the game was unfortunate in losing, I think there was a lot of great things to build on.
Thank you. Jackson?
Scotty, you mentioned having family at BYU. Are you planning on having a lot of extended family out for the game, a lot of visitors and guests in your name, and at the same time, aside from maybe the Bachmeyers or other Stanford connections on BYU's roster, do you have any friends on the BYU team or at all?
Yeah, I'm grateful because I'm hoping to have a lot of friends and family out there. A lot of friends and family are already BYU fans and would be going to the game already as season ticket holders or whatnot, or in the student section. So I have a lot of friends already there, but I think a lot of people will be there in my name, sitting in the Stanford section, which will be fun. And then, sorry, what was the second half of that question? Oh yeah, BYU. Yeah, a lot of the guys I do know, not super personally, but a lot of them I've played growing up in high school. On other teams, a couple of them played at my high school as well. And so it'll be fun to see some familiar faces. And then obviously knowing the coaching staff a little bit through recruitment, it'll be fun to see those guys as well.
Thank you, Jackson. John?
Scotty, one of the cool things from my standpoint is seeing you and Mitch play together. I mean, you've done that now for multiple years, sort of same class. Tell us what it's like to play with him and maybe unspoken communication you have with him. It seems like communication between the safeties would be pretty important, particularly in a game like this. But just talk about you and Mitch.
100%. Yeah, Mitch and I, we've played together now for the last couple of seasons. And so with that, we've created a friendship, a real friendship, a bond. And I think that comes with trust as well, just because we've played together so much and I can trust him and he can trust me. And so that's something that obviously is a blessing to have in the back end, that somebody you can trust and you know what they're calling to their side of the field and he knows what I'm calling to my side of the field, so we can get the defense on the same page. And so that's great. And then communication wise, that's something that Coach Whitfield and the rest of our defensive coaches have been harping, especially against BYU. They try to trick our eyes and they use a lot of motion, and so communication is going to be super big. But coming back to Mitch, he's a great player, and I feel grateful just to have played with him these last couple of years and excited to continue to ride with him this year.
Ben?
Yeah, I just want to kind of get your thoughts on the early bye week. Obviously, it gave you, a week to kind of rest and heal up before the game, but just kind of thoughts on getting 2 weeks to prepare for BYU and how that might help you guys a little bit, at least.
Yeah, I think it's definitely unique having a bye week, week one, but I think that comes with lots of pros as well. Since Hawaii, we've really been cleaning up and learning from the mistakes that we made within the game and have really used the bye week to better our fundamentals and continue to learn and grow within the defense and in the offense and as a team. And also gives us a great opportunity to get healthy. Guys were banged up and continue to get better and heal so that we can be as prepared as possible for BYU. And being able to obviously watch their game and prep was definitely a big advantage.
Back to John.
Scotty, without giving away the game plan, because I wouldn't want you to do that, can you give us some insight as to what a week for you is like preparing for an opponent? I mean, I think about safety and I think about, man, I don't want to bust, but there's a lot to look at, right? They're four wide. I mean, pass coverage, but then this BYU team, they've got the jet, they've got, orbital motion. I mean, it just seems like there's a lot to look at, but how do you prepare, just using BYU as an example, for a week where you're going to have to be all over the field and you want to be in the right place at the right time all the time?
Yeah, I think the first one, we're blessed with great coaches that really give us awesome things to look at when we're watching film. And so that's really helpful just to look for tendencies and whatnot. But from a personal standpoint and as a safety room, the first couple of days we're really just trying to get a feel of what their offense likes to do. And then day by day, we'll kind of split it up. What do they like to do in their run game? What do they like to do in their pass game? And then you really get a feel for kind of the concepts that they like. And you can see those things kind of repeated throughout the game. And then obviously situational, big situations are super important. Third down, critical down, fourth down, red zone. And so really hammering those, watching a lot of tape and really trying to figure out tendencies within those moments so that when you're out there, you're not even thinking, it's like you've seen it so many times, you can just play and you can play fast. And so really from the last week, you try to learn as much as you can from the game and the mistakes. And then that next week, it's you flip the page pretty quickly and you're trying to do everything you can to be prepared for this game, and watching a lot of tape obviously comes with that.
Ben?
Yeah, you play a very physical position at safety, and you play it during an era where there's a lot more, I guess, concern about player safety and targeting calls are a lot more commonplace. Just talk about the challenges of playing safety in this era, and what do you do to make sure you can still be physical and hit guys hard, but do so in a way that you don't have to leave the game. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, safety is obviously you got to be physical. You're in the pass game a lot covering receivers, but then you're also pretty involved in the run game. And so for me, it's fun because it's the best of both worlds, which is pretty awesome. But knock on wood, I've never been ejected from a game for targeting. And so hopefully that doesn't start soon. So as of right now, I don't think about it too much. I just keep doing what I've been doing and until something goes right, I'll keep doing that.
I guess as a quick follow-up to that, what do you think you do well? What do you think you do well that's prevented you from getting tossed? What have you done well to stay in the game? Yeah. Do you think?
Our coaches are really good at teaching the fundamentals of tackling, and that's something that I've really tried to work on. Getting your head to the side, using your shoulder to tackle, and then obviously when there is a defenseless receiver, not hitting him in the head, because obviously if you do that, you're out the game pretty quickly. And so just making sure you're disciplined when you do have a big opportunity to make a big hit, is hitting them right and in the right spot.
Thank you. Jackson?
Circling back to BYU, obviously it's been a few years, but what do you remember about the program? What were your impressions of the program during your recruitment, and maybe some of the coaches that you got to know there?
Yeah, the coaches were great to me, and that was it was truly a blessing to be recruited by them, just being from Utah. And it was a difficult decision for me between Stanford and BYU, but I was able to develop great relationships with the coaches, and the coaches are great coaches football wise, but they're great men as well. And that's something that I really admire about the BYU coaches in the football program, is that they're building men, not only football players. And so that's something that I really admire, and something that definitely drew me to them. Um, and then their teams, they're always physical, they're always fast, they always play with a lot of great effort. And so just in being able to follow BYU just throughout my entire life, that's something that's always been fun to watch, is just a fast and a physical and a team that plays with great effort.
Thank you, Jackson. John?
Scotty, back to the young Scotty Edwards who went to the BYU games. Did you have a favorite BYU player or two growing up? And if you did, why did you favor those one or two players?
That's a good question. I think the first one that comes to mind is Harvey Younga. He was a running back. He was a stud. I mean, he was pretty hard to bring down. Taysom Hill is another one that comes to my mind. Great football player. Still is a great football player. It's been fun to follow his success in the league as well. I think the list goes on. There's been a lot of great players that have come through BYU and, continue to play in the league, and we continue to see that. And so, yeah, off the top of my head, those are two that I had a lot of fun watching growing up.
Thank you, John. Troy?
Yeah, Scotty, given everything, what would a win for Stanford mean for this program, and what would it mean for you?
Yeah, as a program, this would be big. Going into a hostile environment like this, playing a good team like this, and coming out with a win would be awesome. It'd be awesome to come back to Stanford Stadium with a win. I think it'd be great for our fan base, and then I think it would, confirm to us that we're on the right track as a team. And I really do believe that we are. And as a player as well, personally, this would be obviously a fun game to win for personal reasons, just being there, being a BYU fan growing up, that would be pretty fun, and being able to do it in front of friends and family. But ultimately, we're trying to win this game as a team, and we're going to do everything that we can to do that.
Ben?
I'm just kind of curious. There's a Cougar legend that lives nearby, and Steve Young. He's in the Menlo Park Steak as well. A little LDS terminology there, but just talk about, have you gotten to know him at all? Meet him, talk to him, any relationship with him, given he's so nearby and he's involved in the community over there? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. I've met him. I met him once or twice. I don't know if he'd remember me, but he's great. And I went to he actually gave a church devotional that I went to, and he spoke about his book, and it was really great. It was he's a great person. Obviously, he's a legend of a football player, and so it was great to meet him. And I've had other teammates come through here that have been close with him, and he's taken good care of them, and he's been a great role model and mentor to them. And so just being able to have the few interactions that I have had with him has been pretty cool for me, and interactions I'm grateful for.
Any other questions for Scotty? All right. Thank you so much, everyone. We hope to see you in Provo on Saturday. Thank you.
Thanks.